Hey, tonight on my momentum coaching call with my midlife girls, a question came up that I hear all the time. Does it actually matter when you eat? Do you need to have breakfast first thing in the morning? Should you stop eating after 7 p.m.? Do you need to eat right after a workout, or is your body somehow going to fall apart? This is one of those topics that confuses so many women in midlife because there are just way too many rules around it. What I want to give you is a little glimpse into what we talked about in tonight's call. A lot of women believe that eating late at night is automatically going to cause like weight gain. And others are like skipping breakfast and wrecking their metabolism. And then there's that workout pressure where you think you need to get in protein within 20 minutes or somehow your workout doesn't work. I could see that right away. This was something that really a lot of women on the call related to. At one point, I asked them how many of them are worried about eating too late at night. And a few women chimed in right away. Another one shared that eating late affects her sleep. Later in the call, one woman said she's always stressed about eating right after workout, even when she wasn't hungry. This is a midlife problem because now we're not just dealing with food, we're dealing with hormones, we're dealing with sleep, we're dealing with these cravings, we're dealing with old diet rules that are still living here in our heads. And this is why this topic matters so much because a lot of women after 40, they're focusing on the wrong part of the problem. Most women think the issue is timing. They think, oh, well, maybe I'm just eating too late. Maybe I should skip breakfast. Maybe I need to time my meals perfectly. This is what I told the group tonight. In midlife, meal timing is actually one of the least important parts of nutrition. That is the misunderstanding now because if your calories are off, your meals are unbalanced, and your protein is too low, it really doesn't matter that you're not eating after 7:30 or 8. That's not the thing that's driving the problem with fat loss. The deeper issue is usually that women are under eating during the day, overthinking carbs, not getting in enough protein, and then ending up with these blood sugar swings and cravings and low energy, and then these late night eating patterns that feel chaotic. That's the real driver. And this is where coaching matters because on the outside, it looks like a timing issue, but underneath, it's usually a nourishment issue. And that came up on the call in many different ways. We talked about breakfast, and I explained that breakfast is not mandatory just because the internet says so, but I also said the better question is not, do I eat breakfast or not? The better question is, why am I skipping it? Because there's a difference between someone who naturally likes eating later in the day and someone whose hunger cues are just all over the place and they're eating too little during the day. And then they're getting slammed with cravings late. That's a completely different situation. We also talked about late night eating, and this is where I explained something important to the group. Eating later at night does not magically make your body store fat just because it's nighttime. But what can happen in midlife that eating too close to bed, it can make your sleep worse. It raises your body temperature slightly because digestion is active. It can affect your blood sugar. And if you're already dealing with night sweats, waking up hot or broken sleep, that late meal might hit differently now than it did 10 years ago. That's why I told them this isn't about fear, it's about awareness. And that is a big difference. Then we got into post workout eating. And one of the women said something that I know so many women feel. She basically said, that's a big stressor for me. I wasn't hungry, but I thought that I had to eat right away because I worked out. And that right there is exactly why I wanted to teach this topic tonight because I don't want women adding extra stress where it doesn't belong. What I told them was this: You do not need to panic if you don't eat within that window after you work out. For most women, doing a few little strength trainings a week, walking and just trying to be consistent, your body's not that fragile. If you're eating balanced meals throughout the day, your body is getting what it needs. Now, yes, nutrient timing can matter for elite athletes or people training at a really high level, but that's not what most midlife women need to be obsessing over. Most women need to just build a better meal. That is gonna be the bigger win. That's really where the whole conversation landed. We talked a lot about protein on the call, so there's no surprise there because one thing I keep seeing with women in midlife is, excuse me, too many carbs by themselves and not enough protein to balance it out. Then what happens? Blood sugar is going to go up real fast. Then it crashes. Then the cravings hit. The energy dips. Then you're standing in the kitchen wondering why you want to snack every snack that's in sight. That's not because you don't have any willpower. It's often because your meals just ain't doing their job. The one practical shift I would give you from this conversation is this. Before you start worrying about when to eat, focus on building more balanced meals. Start with your protein, add a fiber rich carb, and then add a healthy fat. That alone will do more for hunger cravings and energy than obsessing about some made up food rule. That was really the heart of tonight's call. It was not about perfection, it was not about rigid timing. It was about helping women understand what actually moves the needle in midlife. And I think that matters because so many women are walking around thinking that our bodies are broken when really we're just getting incomplete advice. I'm curious, have you noticed yourself stressing more about food timing than food quality? Have you ever felt guilty for eating late, skipping breakfast, or not eating right after a workout? Let me know in the comments because I know this is a big one. The takeaway from tonight's coaching call is this: meal timing is not the first thing that most women in midlife need to fix. The basics. Focus on the basics. Balanced meals matter more, protein matters more, consistency matters more. And once those pieces are in place, your hunger, cravings, energy, and even your sleep often start making a lot more sense. Your body ain't broken, girl. You're not failing over there. You probably just need to ignore these food rules. You need better support and more realistic strategies for this stage of life. These are the kind of conversations we have inside of my weekly group coaching calls. And if you're navigating midlife and want support like this, you can find coaching details in the description. Keep moving, keep glowing, and remember, you're sexy, strong, and unstoppable.